I want to start off with the key player because I want to leave the favorite for last. Who is the key player out of all of these four teams for you, Chris?
Man, it was tough to decide because there's definitely everybody. Each team has somebody who could really unlock the tie, but I gotta go with Christian Pulisic.
Ooh,
And
okay.
yeah, yeah, and the reason why is because Ferland Mendy's hurt. He's out of the first leg, and Danny Carvajal is coming back and playing. I don't know how many games he's played this year, but he's been out for most of the season with a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not at his best. So it's if Christian Pulisic can be at his best tomorrow, I think he could really unlock the tie. If he has his way and he's going against a Nacho or a Marcelo, oh boy, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day, man. He's in form. He's full of confidence. He could do it, man. He can do it.
I I enjoy that pick. I like it. I really like it. I went with someone a little different, um, maybe with similar traits, but on a different team. I'm picking this guy right here. Well, you guys probably can't even see him. I'm picking Neymar. Neymar as my key player because you look at PSG without Neymar, they're a team that gets bounced in the round of 16. You look at PSG with Neymar, and this is a team that goes to a Champions League final. That's what they brought Neymar for. Well, they brought him to win the Champions League. They haven't been able to do that yet. But if there's a year, this is it. Neymar makes this entire team that much better. Of course, you have Kylian Mbappe on that side, and you might only need Kylian Mbappe. But if you have Neymar there running wild, creating spaces, um, being that player that is so incredibly talented, yet I don't even know how to put this. He just changes a game. He changes a game by simply having the ball on his feet. He can control the game just by having the ball. And that's what PSG needed. They needed an alpha. They have an alpha in Neymar. And now that Neymar is healthy, he already went to his sister's party earlier this year, so he got that out of the way. He's good now. Neymar can just take over, and we've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen him take over, and now and of course he has Kylian Mbappe that he can bounce ideas off of, and he can pass the ball to, and he can finish whatever. But regardless, I feel like Neymar is that player, and I think maybe most of this rant wasn't even necessary because I said everything at the beginning. You look at PSG before, when Neymar's hurt, they are a first round exit. You look at PSG with a healthy Neymar, they're finalists. And that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, Neymar was actually the guy who was my one A, I guess. If I
Okay.
wasn't gonna go
Okay.
Pulisic, I was gonna go Neymar because I feel like even though he's shined for PSG, he's missing that moment. He had it for
Mm-hmm.
Barca when they came back and then the what is it
The
the
remontada. Yeah.
yeah, the remontada against PSG. But he hasn't had that shining moment. Even though he took him to the final last year, him and Mbappe, but I just feel like he needs that signature moment in that shirt. And Manchester City aren't the best defensive team. We've seen that they'll give it up, man. So yeah, I can definitely see Neymar. He's no doubt about it gonna have an impact on the matchup. But if he has his way, if he chooses to be that guy, that demon on the field, and gets after them for real, he could decide that tie too, just like my pick. So yeah, I see it for sure.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit to your Pulisic pick though. And I kind of just want to break down what you saw on Saturday because I feel like every time I watch Christian Pulisic, he always does something special, whether it's a goal that he scores or an assist that he gets or simply just having a good efficient game. Although some people might say that good and efficient isn't necessarily special, but in the grand scheme of things, it is. What did you think of Christian Pulisic's performance against West Ham on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he's a special player, man. Even if he doesn't get on the score sheet, he impacts the game. He can dribble. He has speed for days. he's technical quality, and he has the IQ, and he's young, full of energy. So the only thing stopping Christian Pulisic is himself. If he can stay
Hmm.
healthy, if he can stay healthy, he's got it, man. We've seen it. He's been playing big games for most of his career, and he
Yeah.
broke in at such a young age that he has so many games under his belt already. So yeah, man. I see a player full of confidence. I see a player that knows he has his manager's confidence. He knows even if he's not going to play every single match, that Tuchel trusts him, and he can make a difference. He's gonna. I think he could. I watched his press conference yesterday, and he seems really up for it. He knows. I guess growing up and watching, being a fan of the game like he is, like going to the Barcelona matches, the Manchester United matches, he gets up for big games. So knowing this is a European semifinal against Real Madrid at Madrid, if he gets his goal here, an away goal, or contributes in any way, he knows how special that is. So I think he's really going to be up for it. Really, I mean, and yeah, man, Madrid are hurt. So think about that aspect, like somebody who's full of confidence, in form, and up for the game against someone who's not not in form, or someone who is not maybe not there anymore defensively in a Marcelo. Because I love Marcelo, don't get me wrong, but you in Christian Pulisic, you're going against someone who's not going to pull you any favors.
Marcelo was never there defensively. Let's be honest. He just made up with speed and great attacking, but defensively, he was never it.
Yeah, yeah. And he played. I mean, he was like a Trent Alexander-Arnold, in which he played for a good team that hid that deficiency. But that's for another time. It's just Christian Pulisic is not gonna be sitting there starstruck because
Mhm.
Marcelo's there next to him. He's gonna know. Oh, give me the ball because I got this guy, and I really want to make that impact because you can see it when he plays. If he's out of the side for too long, as soon as he gets on that field, the first thing he's doing is dribbling by people, trying to make that special moment where he's going to score or get the assist. So yeah, man, if he gets to start tomorrow and he has been getting his run of games now, I can really see him getting this matchup by the neck and having it by his will, man.
He's an alpha. He is
Yeah.
he is an alpha, and at times the mentality of an American athlete, or at least the stereotype of the mentality of an American athlete, is that they're never starstruck. They do what they have to do. No moment is too big. And I know they might sound like cliches, but that's what Christian Pulisic is. And you mentioned something really interesting. You mentioned how he attended those games when he was younger, and he saw those players, and he might have even played against some of them already. Uh, so this isn't a big deal for him. This isn't a big deal for him. He's been playing in big games. He was playing Champions League when he was what, like 18.
Yeah, he was scoring for
With
Dortmund at 17.
There you go. There you go. So sure, it's Real Madrid. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. I mentioned it at the top of the segment. I talked about how this is the winningest team in Champions League history, but I don't think this is going to phase Pulisic. It shouldn't, because he's that type of player. But here, I want to run something past you right now. I am on the Foot Mob app, however it's pronounced. They're not sponsoring anyway, so I don't know why I name dropped. And they projected the lineup for Chelsea. I'm gonna read it off to you. I might look like a complete idiot after I read it, and it's a different lineup. This is gonna go up on Tuesday morning, by the way. All right, so Mendy in goal, backline of three for Chelsea: Aspilicueta, Rudiger, Silva. Four in the middle: James outright. On the left, Ben Chilwell. The two midfielders, Jorginho and Kante. And then the three up top: Havertz on the right, Mount on the left, and Timo Werner as a number nine. Um, Even if Pulisic just plays like 30 minutes, surely he has to make some sort of impact.
yeah. I don't know if they're. I mean, that sounds right until I hear Havertz at the right. Even though Kai has been playing really well,
Mm-hmm.
they've been deploying Kai as a false nine, and he hasn't shown that he can really uh play his best on that right hand side. So they've been playing Pulisic with Ziyech instead. But um who knows? I mean, they could do that. They could pull the Mount and Havertz and try to control the matchup. Sergio Ramos is out tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
so they
Is
could
he?
really try to exploit that middle. Yeah, he's out. He's out for sure. Already
Yeah.
confirmed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Um. Okay. So I do have more things to talk, more points to touch on for Chelsea, but I think I'll talk about those when we get to the predictions. And I want to get your thoughts because I had a very interesting conversation this weekend with one of my good friends. All right. So those are our key players, Pulisic and Neymar. Let's move on to the dark horse. I think I might have changed my pick, Chris. I think I might have changed my pick. I'm just gonna tell you my pick, my initial pick. It was Real Madrid, and I know, I'm contradicting myself because I said last week when we were talking about the Super League that Real Madrid can never be an underdog. But I saw them play against Betis on Saturday. I saw them play against Getafe last Sunday, not yesterday, but the past Sunday. And I see a very vulnerable team. A different team to the one that beat Barcelona 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, however long it was. But I also see Chelsea, and I'm like, listen, not many people are counting them as the champ. Not many people think that they can advance. And the odds in Vegas, I don't know if you're much of a gambler, Chris, or you might not even dabble on those things. But I've seen the odds, and the odds show that Chelsea is the underdog. But are they really an underdog? Are they really an underdog? Or you can argue that Chelsea is coming into this game in a much better position than Real Madrid. So, you know what? I'm just going to keep my pick because I don't want to be indecisive. I think Real Madrid is the dark horse. It wouldn't surprise me if they beat Chelsea. It also wouldn't surprise me if they get eliminated. But yeah, I mean this is something that I was almost like debating myself. I was like, wait, am I really gonna pick Real Madrid as one of the underdogs and a dark horse? When is Real Madrid a dark horse? Never. They're almost always the favorites, and I think this pick was almost perfect to put Chelsea. But just the way that Real Madrid is coming in and people aren't really, I don't want to say taking them serious. I heard from one of my good friends, Nick Day is from Veterans Minimum. Shout out to him. He said, "Don't you think that Real Madrid overachieved this season?" And I'm like, "Yeah, in a sense they did. They kind of did." And it does make sense that you say that they overachieved, but I'm kind of just all over the place here. Um, but yeah, I think Real Madrid's the dark horse. Don't be surprised if they say, "All right, yeah, we might be injured, but you know what? We're Real Madrid and we can beat you with our jersey because we're Real Madrid. The crown on this crest, yeah, it's Real Madrid, and it means greatness. So dark horse, Real Madrid, maybe pencil in Chelsea too. I don't know, but Real Madrid was my initial pick.
Okay, okay, that's different, but I'll take that. The, so you want the dark horse?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with my club, Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
because I think Real Madrid, even though you can say that by their standards they're underachieving or overachieving by what's going on with
Yep.
their team this year.
Yep.
By their standards, they're also underachieving, in
Yes.
which they got the most the best players on the highest salaries. So
Yep.
how I mean they it's tough. They got the same manager who won them the three Champions Leagues in a row. They still got Benzema. They paid over 100 million pounds for Eden Hazard. I know it hasn't worked out, but it's tough to say. Yeah, they got all these high profile players, Tony Cruz and Luka Modric, and uh, just take them to not win that matchup. So I take Chelsea just because I think with their injuries we have a chance. I think
Right.
if they were at full strength, this would be a real tough test, and I would have loved to have seen it at full strength. But I mean, it's really playing into our hand, and
Yeah.
we're tough. We're tough to score against. I don't. We'll see. We'll see.
Tough
I
to
think
play
it.
against.
Yeah, yeah. Mendy's got I think more clean sheets than goals allowed this year. It's nuts. Like the with the back three, and then the two wing backs and Mendy playing like that. It's big. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I like Chelsea as a dark horse though, but I don't know if I can take Chelsea as a favorite right now, just because I think that's set up for failure. Just because I don't want to put it past Real Madrid, man. I know they've been hurt, and they're not the Real Madrid of past years, but they're still a Goliath. They still got
Yeah.
quality everywhere.
Yeah.
You put in, I mean, Eden Hazard's hurt. God forbid you put in a Vinicius Jr. who's gonna open up and carve the game like he did against who did they just play in the last tie? I'm sorry.
Liverpool.
Yeah, they just carved up Trent Alexander-Arnold to death.
Oh my god,
So
that Liverpool defense is brutal. And usually when I say
yeah,
brutal, I mean it in a good sense. That's bad. It's just bad.
yeah. So
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, it's really hard for me to pick uh that on that matchup, but I'll take Chelsea as a dark horse. Um, I'll transition and give you my favorite too. My
okay,
favorite, yeah, I'll give you PSG as the favorite.
that's
I
mine
think they
too.
got something. Yeah, I think they got something to prove this year,
Yeah.
especially with Poach as the new manager.
Hmm.
I don't think they sleep at all. I think they're gonna go after it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, PSG is my favorite as well. I think that you mentioned very valid points, very valid reasons. They have something to prove. They lost the final last year. They have a new manager now, and I just feel like the matchup against Manchester City, and you mentioned this earlier, the matchup against Manchester City is very favorable. Why do we say that? Or why do I say that? Because in these Champions League games and these direct elimination games, PSG has been playing with a deeper back line. They haven't really put themselves in jeopardy. They haven't played with much risk. They have countered their opposition, and it showed that they were far superior on the counter when they beat Barcelona, and then when they beat Bayern Munich. And I don't mean far superior to their opponents, more like far superior to themselves when they were playing in a different way. But this PSG team, they can carve up that Man City defense because we know that Man City defense loves to play a high line. PSG with maybe like 4 or 5 passes that they string together, and by PSG I mean Neymar and Mbappe. Don't you think that they'll score like 2 or 3 times at least in that first leg? And then if you get those away goals, I mean, it makes it that much more complicated for the opposition, in this case Manchester City, to come back. Because what's PSG going to do? PSG is going to drop back, similar to what they did. Well, they didn't really do this much against Bayern Munich, because against Bayern, PSG came out and they attacked and they surprised. They just weren't very lethal in front of goal, or they weren't lethal at all because they didn't score in that second leg. But the matchup is very favorable for Manchester City, and it just feels like one of those games where Pep Guardiola, they're gonna pan to him and he's gonna be incredibly disappointed because they're down 2-0 with 60 minutes played, and his team can't seem to find any spaces, and with 2 shots on goal, PSG has had the lead. It just seems like that type of game, and I feel for Pep Guardiola. I completely feel for him, but I think that this matchup is probably the worst matchup that could have that Manchester City could have had, and the best one that PSG could have had.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. It's I don't want. I mean, and if anyone can do it, Manchester City can do it. They got quality, but I just don't see that outlet that they have that can get them the goal when they need it. And I know Foden's been having a great year, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not a striker. He's not that main top dog who's going to get you that goal when you need it. And if Aguero was on form and playing a lot, I think he can really make a difference. But he's not right now.
Yeah.
So I don't see how, if they need to get the outcome, I don't know how, where they can go to get that. I don't know who they can turn to get that goal. So yeah, I like PSG as well. I like PSG as well. I like Neymar. I like Mbappe against that defense, and yeah, let's see. But yeah, PSG looks really strong.
Yeah, they do. Oh, but I think we also have to mention something. Kylian Mbappe hobbled off on Saturday in their win in the league, so
Ooh,
it's yeah, it's up for debate, or it's up in the air if Mbappe plays or not. It looks like he might. I haven't
I'd be
seen.
surprised if he wouldn't if he doesn't.
Yeah, I think he will be fine, but yeah, it doesn't really seem like this is something serious for Kylian Mbappe. So surely he's gonna play. And I just found this out. The first leg is gonna be played in Paris. So yeah, I mean, regardless, I don't think it matters much. I feel like wherever they play the first leg, it's still PSG's for the taking. Um, and then yeah, the second leg will be played in Manchester. So I think we should. This was a very nice transition into the predictions, and let's kind of just talk about PSG and Man City. We broke it down a little bit, but what do you think that scoreline looks like in aggregate?
Oof. In aggregate,
Yeah,
oof, those they got some killers, man. Mbappe is so scary. I like he can really put on three a game.
yeah.
So I'll go. I mean, I'll go 8-3, 8-4. PSG. Yeah, I go. I think. Yeah, I think Mbappe gets a couple goals and so does Neymar per leg.
Wow,
Yeah,
that that's a hefty aggregate score. Wow. Okay, I
yeah.
like it though. I like it. I like it because that means that we're gonna see a lot of goals. I was gonna play it a little more conservative, 3-2 PSG. Um,
Over
because
two legs?
over two legs, yeah, over two legs,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It does kind of contradict what I was saying, but I don't think Manchester City is going to be as easy as we're making them out to be, unless this team just comes out and takes a dump and just doesn't show up at all. I think it'll be. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna raise a goal for each team. 4-3 for
Okay.
for PSG. Um, I don't know. I just think that Manchester City is in a disadvantage in this matchup, and it pains me because I want to see Pep Guardiola win a Champions League with someone else that isn't Barcelona. But oh man, he just can't catch a break, can he? He cannot catch a break with the draws or with the games in Champions League with teams that aren't Barcelona. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I do think PSG advances, and there's going to be a good amount of goals being scored. If it turns out like you are saying, Chris, my goodness, those poor commentators are going to need to drink some tequila after, or like a nice tea, because they're going to be using their voices quite a lot. Um, all right, let's talk about Chelsea and Real Madrid, and I'm gonna bring up that point that I wanted to make earlier, and I was talking to one of my good friends, and he says, why doesn't Chelsea use Giroud more? They kind of need a reference at number 9, and Giroud is there. Why doesn't he play? Why do you think he doesn't play?
Giroud's certified quality, right? The
Mm-hmm.
thing with Giroud is he also, while his hold up play is excellent, and he has his pros and cons. His cons is that he slows down the pace of the game.
Yes, he
He
does.
he he by a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's not a pacey player at all. And if you could see the team that Chelsea's trying to make, they're trying to catch you every single time, punch you in the mouth. They
Yeah.
got the wing backs coming forward, and they got Timo Werner, Kai, Mason Mount exploding towards the box. They're not trying to be that long ball type team. The thing with Giroud is, and why he's so valuable and why you don't want to let him go is he brings a different dynamic to the team. When things aren't working, when those guys aren't getting their way, you bring on a Giroud and that changes everything about what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's so hard because he still has quality. So it's not like you're bringing on somebody who's doesn't know how to score. This guy's an animal. Like, And then it's a fair thing to ask because Giroud definitely deserves the playing time. If he goes to somewhere else, he'd probably start a lot more. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Chelsea's really trying to play that breakneck Man City, Liverpool type game where they're really trying to get at you. And that's tough to do with a old school number nine. You see these two teams with something they have in common. They got Firmino and Kun Agüero or Gabi Jesus, false nines. Like they
Mm-hmm.
got these guys who aren't traditional number nines.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to do with a old school number nine like a Giroud. But it's a fair thing to ask because, like I said, Giroud has quality, man, and bags of it. I love him.
Yeah. Well, my friend absolutely loves him too. That's why he was asking. He's like, well, Chelsea looks like they need some goals, so why don't they bring him on? And I'm like, that's a great question. I wish I had the answer. And then today I'm like, wait, I record with a Chelsea fan. Might as well just ask him since he watches, if not all the games, he watches majority of them. So
No,
he'll
I
have
watch
a
them
much
all.
better. You watch them all. There you go. That's why you're the number one Chelsea fan in the world, probably next to Rory Jennings. Do you know who Rory Jennings is?
Yeah, man, don't bring him up, please. That guy, he's crazy. I don't want him to get in trouble. Come on.
Okay. Wow. I was campaigning to bring him on the show, but Rory, you still have a spot here if you ever want to come by. Um, so yeah, this Chelsea and Real Madrid tie to me feels like the most even one. Crazy, I know, insane, but this is the most even tie out of the two. Official prediction, Chris. What do you think is going to happen?
Sheesh. Official prediction. I think first leg. Are you asking me over aggregate or just the first leg?
Let's go with aggregate, and then if you want to like break down the details, you can go ahead and do so. But we'll talk about the
Okay.
aggregate first.
Okay. I'll go first leg first. I think tomorrow is gonna go 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay.
And the main reason being is that Ramos is out.
Mm-hmm.
Ramos and two of the backs are out. The right back and Lucas Vasquez is out, and so is
Yes.
Ferland Mendy. So I think Chelsea's really gonna get the two away goals, and it's gonna. I think Benzema's still gonna score though. I think Benzema's a stingy player, man. And if I were to sit here and tell you, yeah, we're gonna blank Real Madrid out Real Madrid in a European semifinal, there's no way. I think
Mm-hmm.
these guys know. They know this is a big game. Kareem Benzema's been there plenty of times. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, plenty of times. So they got quality. So I can see them breaking the defense, but I think Chelsea gets the two away goals, two very important away goals, and I think we got a 1-0 home win and see the tie out and get to the final. And I'm scared as hell because now I just put that in the universe, so you know what happens. Oh man, but yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 over the two legs, Chelsea. Please
Okay.
don't punish me, football gods.
Hey, football gods, if anything, punish me. Um, I think Real Madrid advances. I think Real Madrid advances. I think that experience is going to play a very, very, very important factor right here. It's going to be an important factor. It's gonna play an important role. Regardless of the injuries and maybe they haven't been playing their best. Real Madrid is Real Madrid, and they're going to show up to this game. And Chelsea is a very good team. You know this, Chris, better than anyone. Chelsea is a very good team. They might be a year too early because they have a lot of youngsters in there. They do have some experience in there too. Thiago Silva is the first person that comes to mind when it comes to experience. But I think that this is going to be a very, very close tie. I feel like, if anything, it might end in a draw, the first leg, and then Real Madrid will probably escape with a victory at Stamford Bridge. Maybe it gives them another week to prepare a little more, maybe to get a little healthier. I was reading that Federico Valverde should return maybe by next week after his COVID scare. We have Lucas Vasquez. He could probably return next week. There's still some hope for Real Madrid, but here's the thing. You guys know that I do not like Real Madrid, and it pains me every time I have to talk good about Real Madrid. So, Chris, I really hope that Chelsea advances. That's what my heart says. I hope Chelsea advances. I hope Chelsea wins. But for two reasons. I don't like Real Madrid, and I hope that your team advances. But if I'm picking with my brain, it's kind of, I don't know. It's risky to pick against Real Madrid in a Champions League semifinal, um, and even in a Champions League final, should they advance. So yeah, you know what I love about these semifinals though is that we might say PSG is the favorite, a big favorite over Manchester City based on the matchup. But if Manchester City beats the piss out of PSG, I won't be surprised at all because it
Yeah,
is Manchester City after all. And these four teams are all so evenly matched that you can argue that any of them can win the Champions League. It doesn't really matter because let's say for example 2 years ago when we had Liverpool Barcelona in one tie and then in the other tie we had Ajax and Tottenham. Everyone was saying, well, the champion's going to come out of the Liverpool and Barcelona tie. And yeah, history proved us right. It happened. But I don't like those types of semifinals. Or even when, well, last year, who was it? It was PSG and Leipzig against, PSG and Leipzig, and then it was I'm blanking.
Leon,
Oh yeah,
Leon.
Lyon and Bayern. We
Hmm.
knew who was going to advance to the final. It was
Yeah,
clear. It was obvious, clear as day. And of course, yeah, it was those two teams that ended up going to the final. But right here, I don't care which matchup it is. It's gonna be interesting because you're not gonna know who is going to win. It's genuinely interesting. It's intriguing. I absolutely love it. I can see any of these four teams winning it all. I picked my favorite, of course I did, but take our picks with a grain of salt because these semifinals are so evenly matched and they're going to be so much fun to watch. Finally,
yeah.
an exciting Champions League semifinal. That's what we wanted. Is there anything else you want to add about the semifinals before we move on?
Nah, man, it should be two classics, really. And like you said, take it like a grain with a grain of salt. It could go exactly how we think, and it can go exactly the other way because these teams are dangerous, dude. Like all four teams are really quality. So enjoy, everybody enjoy.